Hi guys, quick update here for the S&P technical analysis, Monday 29th of August 22, not financial advice, educational purposes. So let's take a look here for all the keyboard warriors out there. So obviously completely changed the count, taken off the ending diagonal count based on Friday's intraday reversal. That doesn't look very good. The volume's very high. We're in September now, and the big boys are back. This entire rally looks now like a corrective wave. So for some reason I was kind of duped by this stock market for 2 weeks. First time in 14 years that's ever happened. I was looking at this as an ending diagonal, but that's just not the case now. And the reason is Apple and Microsoft are falling. So we've already established Tesla, 1,000 year top. No point even looking at this. I mean, this has to be the most disgusting bear market rally I've ever seen. I mean, that is just absolutely disgusting. How it can retrace nearly 100% off the move. And if Apple is falling here in some kind of ABC leg, that is going to drag down the S&P. Microsoft doesn't look good. That is a, multi-year tops have been formed here. We've been saying for a while, Microsoft should get into these levels. So back to being bearish or neutral on this market. Now, what we do have is a situation where in a US midterm election year, we have shared this since the start of the year. That's the advantage of really being in the group. We know there's an outperformance in Q4 in a midterm election year. So as each day goes by, probably not a good idea to be short. The positioning is very, very much bearish here. And sure, that could now sustain a little bit longer. But as we get into October, it's really time to switch that positioning and get really bullish this market. September is also a very bearish month for Bitcoin. So the nasty fractal from 2008, some kind of 1-2-1-2 down, that basically gets you all the way down to here. But then that refutes the whole Q4 rally in a US midterm. So what is the count then? Well, it could be a WXYXZ. So one more new low, then we get a very nice corrective leg. October, November, December, January, February, and then we maybe roll over here. Or it's some kind of ABC into here, then a B leg, and now a C leg, similar sort of thing. Or it's some kind of ending diagonal, so an expanding leading diagonal. So it's not an ending diagonal, it's a leading diagonal. Once again, that also gets you down to here. So I think a move is now more likely to end up in this kind of level, and I do expect this to get taken out. So I completely switched my opinion the minute that man started talking, Tom Cruise, on Friday, trying to negotiate a soft landing like he's Iceman. This is not Top Gun here. This is the US stock market. And, apparently, based on historical reference, when the inflation rate has gone above 5%, there's never been a case in history where the interest rate hasn't gone to at least match the inflation rate. So we're nowhere near done in the interest rate hiking cycle. We could go a lot higher. 10-year yield is at 3%. That could easily go to 7.5%. Dollars at 109. That can easily go to 150. The question is, though, what happens between now and the end of the year? So if this is still a leading diagonal, an ending diagonal going up, of which I now have my severe doubts given how Apple, Tesla, Google looks horrible. They all look really, really bad. And now we're into September. The volumes are going to increase because the big boys are back. They go away in May. The move from May to September is often a little bit dodgy. Okay, so, for that to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't see it. That's too deep for a 4. That would have worked had it not, broken below, let's say, 4,100 or so. So to me, the primary count is now down again. And Bitcoin helps to support that. Bitcoin next price target would be about 14.5K. This entire market is very tricky right now. All we have is statistically going into October and just before the US midterms, not to get too bearish. But the positioning for right now and the charts are not looking the best. I do expect a heavy short squeeze though. My expectation is this move doesn't come all the way down to here. I think it's going to now settle here, form some kind of corrective leg, and we did say 40% is the average decline in a bear market takes about a year. Well, that gets you to about 2850. But let's deal with this sort of, let's call it 3200 to now 3500. Then we'll see what kind of reaction do we get to the US midterms. Is it corrective? Is it a smaller flag? If not, one more push down, then we move higher. There are too many interpretations here to call an exact count between now and the end of the year. But I have changed my count, so I'm no longer calling for an ending diagonal, and that's not flip-flopping. This is a very tricky market. No one has called this correctly from top to bottom. It's been very, very hard because there's so many interpretations. Now, let's quickly go on the SPY. As you can see, we got lines all over the place here. So this line breaking would obviously be quite significant. That connects the lows from 2020 and here. So a move down below this line, retest. Clearly the June lows are getting taken out, and then, like I said, probably coming towards the pre-pandemic highs. Then we'll have to wait and see. I just don't think there's enough force in this market to bring it all the way down to here, to 284 or so before the US midterms, but let's deal with things one step at a time. So ending diagonal count as of last Friday, completely off the table. The minute that man started talking, these intraday reversals, and this is real selling, by the way. For those who are taking the masterclass, you know exactly how to look at internals. The internals of this move were very, very bad, and as you can see, volume here is picking up. And on the monthly chart, well, that's inside month candle failure there. If it closes over the next couple of days in that range, which it probably will, that's not a good looking candle at all. Now, let's quickly have a look at Bitcoin while we're here. So Bitcoin, tricky market, doesn't look very good. I don't think the short term is important here. To me, I'm still very much bearish on this market. There's way too much interaction on YouTube and Twitter for this market. Obviously it's linked to the S&P, so the next level of interest is probably worth having a look at, somewhere between 14 and 15,000. You know, to be bullish now, given the fact that the ending diagonal count is now off the table, I think is very risky. We did say these are poor lows down here. They've not been cleared. The market needs some kind of lower wick to call a reversal. September is not a very good month for Bitcoin at all. Technically, this is also an inside month candle failure pattern. So we got a lot of failures going on here, which aren't good. And what would be the count? Well, there's multiple interpretations. Once again, much like the S&P, just a simple ABC count gets you to around 14,500. That this is some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The altcoins are looking very, very tasty. We cover 25 of them or so in the group, so if you want to have a look at the group, please do join. If you want to join in crypto, just send me a message through the Facebook page. But this market is very risky. You know, it's very hard to catch these knives, and like if you go long here, where do you put your stop? That looks pretty impulsive as well. So that could easily just be 5 waves down off the larger 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off this larger 5. So let's just lower that degree. Let's just call that, I don't know, let's just call that sub-micro, just for the sake of clarity there. So that's the lower degree. Literally all we're doing here is maybe just retesting the consolidation blocks here, ready for the move down. So maybe we come all the way here, run this high, and then that's just the larger wave 2. So it's 5 into a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. The next big dump on Bitcoin is definitely worth having a look at, 100%. Because if the S&P also starts moving here back to the upside, once it takes out the June lows, then clearly we have some kind of bounce coming before the end of the year. September is a very bad month for Bitcoin, but for those who manage to survive September, October and November are statistically 2 of the best months in terms of the Bitcoin's monthly returns, going as far back as the Genesis. So to me, this video is getting recorded end of October, well, end of August now. I just don't like what I'm seeing, really. And every single stock is like that. I mean, Facebook, I mean, we cover all of this on the group. So let's just, what can we have a look at? I mean, Tesla, you know, that's still a head and shoulders there. They might have done a stock split. Doesn't change the fact. Obviously, they've done a stock split. So So have to divide everything by 3. So, you know, we said 1243 was the high. You know, that's a decade top. That has to be you know, these tech stocks are just too powerful now. Apple and Microsoft are 13.6% of the index. The top 5 that you see here are probably near to 25-30% of the index. Yes, fine. This might take a while. This is not going to go to 200. Well, it was 200 before the stock split. So what would that be then? Like, I don't know, 70 something, maybe 66 then. Funny how that works out. So, you know, these targets aren't going to get hit immediately. It might take a while to get down there. Doesn't look good. Amazon, you know, I mean, that is such a disgusting bear market rally. To rally this much, near 50%, to just be an X wave or a wave 2. That is just a huge trap. You know, these traps in here are just incredibly volatile. You know, this, I don't have any hope for Amazon. And I told the group, look, we're looking at here. You know, so it's very, very difficult. If the stocks are all falling, the major stocks, S&P is going to have a very hard time. You know, for some reason on Apple, I was duped for a couple of weeks, but perhaps it's the heat. But right now, that doesn't look good. That is a very disgusting rally, that. And if I go back to 2008, I was having a look at this over the weekend. I mean, we had a similar fractal heel. It's not exactly what we got today, but it's very similar. Hit the 88.6, a huge rally from 4 to 7, and then still we collapsed going into 2009. So I can just copy that over. You got to be very careful with this tool. Can get you into a lot of trouble. Assuming everything is a fractal, I mean, it's never going to be exactly the same in terms of percentage decline or time, but it does give you an idea of what has happened before. So, as I say, looks absolutely nothing in terms of the exact move, but it's similar in the sense that Apple can, I mean, that is unbelievable how it's retraced 90% and now it's falling. And if this fall is genuine, then we've got a lot of issues, because as absolute minimum, that would be a 1-to-1. So, you know, it's just really unfair how one stock makes up 10% of the index, 15% of the entire NASDAQ. That gets you a move down to 124. Doesn't look good for the S&P, does it? Facebook, yeah, we're still waiting on that. That's not quite ready yet. I mean, longer term, this could go to 83, but this is falling in a nice little wedge pattern here, so we're monitoring this. Still haven't jumped in. You know, it's been 6 months, if not longer, frankly. That is still falling a wedge. Could Facebook be in for a nice little rally here? Q4, it is very much possible. Now, what else can we have a look at while we're here? I don't think anything else. So just to recap then, the ending diagonal count is now off the table. I don't like what I'm seeing since Friday. Concerning volume coming in, Apple and Microsoft are very, very important. Both of those are down today. If Apple goes below 150, surely it's not going to recover now to all-time new highs. The fractal on Apple from 2008 is quite worrying, really, if you're bullish, that is. How it's managed to retrace 90%. These 5 stocks are going to drag this index down. I don't think it's the big dump to here, although that is a possibility. That will take a very, very big move, though. A huge move. As an absolute minimum, though, the feeling is these June lows are going to get taken out. Once we get into this region, I will then reassess the count. It depends what happens here. If it just flags, there will be one more move down, then a huge rally. If it doesn't do that, we could rally up out of it. The next new low on the S&P and Bitcoin are 100% near buyable, depending on the market situation. Anyway, that is my current take. If you want to know more about the altcoins, please do have a look at the group. This is everything that we cover here: ADA, Digibyte, Binance Coin. We cover all of them, and obviously we're adding new coins to the list every week. So take a look, and I'll catch you guys on the next video whenever I get the time to do one. Catch you guys soon.